Opening statement and opening questions.
Yeah, what a great job by our pitching staff tonight. Bolden went out and gave us some quality innings. And when he left the game, I thought Castillo came in and gave us, 4 or 5 outs, got into some trouble in his third inning with a walk and then a hit by pitch. And then obviously when Monk came in and got the pop up on the sac bunt at the time, the game was tied 1-1. Then he got him a double play ball. A couple of pitches later, he only threw 5 pitches and I got 3 outs. We just did a great job on the mound. Especially when you're starting a guy in Bolden that hadn't started an SEC game this year. Team was kind of coming in here with a little bit of a short rest for some of our pitchers, and we had to change it up a little bit. And the other guys, they responded. Bullpen came through like they've been doing most of the season, and good job by the offense, fighting and battling and hitting a couple mistakes and putting together a few good innings against a good team on the road. So good win for us.
Bob.
Hey, Dave. Robert, I think it's the first time he's batted 6 hole this year. Obviously, most time leadoff. What made you decide to put him in the 6 hole? Were you thinking he could drive in more runs? It obviously worked. And just what you think of his night and putting him there in the 6 hole?
Yeah, I put him in the 6 hole wanted him to hit behind Franklin. I just felt like it was time to put him in the middle to let him, drive in runs. And he definitely came through for us tonight.
What'd you see on his 2 home runs? Because the first pitch he saw, he's down 0-2, and he hit them both pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, I don't remember the count.
It was actually the first pitch.
Yeah, and so, he just jumped him. He got him a fastball and cheated out there and got to 95 and hit it out of the park. And then, the second one, which was a huge swing for us, we just got out of the big inning or out of the inning before it looked like they were going to put together a big inning on us. Franklin had a great at bat, had a line drive the other way. And then Robert came up and he was down 0-2 real quick. And it looked like they tried to get him to chase an elevated fastball, and he threw it too low and he crushed it. He hit it harder than the first one by a lot, and really got our team fired up and just, got him a fastball and both times, and he left the yard with him.
I got a couple more, but I'll turn it back to Oliver. Thanks, Dave.
Budge.
Yeah, Dave, what all was Bolden throwing tonight, and was that about kind of what you'd hoped to get from him?
Yeah, he was both throwing fastballs, spotting it in and out. What really led to us pulling him was that he stopped throwing his breaking ball for a strike, his slider. Because early, the first couple innings, it was pretty good. And he's also throwing change-ups to left-handers. So those were the 3 pitches that he was going with.
And then I know you said last weekend that Cops didn't necessarily have his best stuff. I mean, how would you assess what he had tonight?
Pretty good. I don't know if it's his best stuff, but if it's not, it was real good. And like the fact that he didn't mess around. He threw a lot of strikes. He got 9 outs on 34 pitches. And that would give us an opportunity to use him again tomorrow.
Aaron.
Dave, talk about the at-bats tonight for Christian Franklin. He came into the game somewhat struggling, but went 2 for 5 tonight. Talk about his performance.
Well, he fought off a lot of pitches. I know he struck out a couple of times, but I felt like his at-bats were good and just missed a couple of pitches. And like I said, he got an 0-2 line drive single up the middle. Probably could have scored 2 on it, but we didn't want to take a chance. And then we ended up not scoring. He hit it so hard that, it probably kept us from scoring 2. But big swing with that leadoff single right after we got out of the jam there. And I think it was maybe the bottom of the 6th or whatever it was. But, yeah, he had a good night. And I felt like his at-bats were good. He saw a lot of pitches.
And then the other player, like you talk about, is Brady Slavins. He had the big double late in the ball game to kind of maybe give it some breathing room, but it was a play that, frankly, I thought should have been made by South Carolina.
He should have caught it. he got out there and he drifted. I don't know if he knew where he was. He thought he was going to run into the fence and went off his glove or whatever happened out there. But it stayed in the park and he was there. But Brady did a nice job of driving it. He just missed a couple of pitches tonight and he hit the ball to the track. That one was fortunate they didn't catch it. It cost him a run. But he swung the bat well tonight.
Nate,
Yeah, can you comment on Caden Monk's job getting the double play and the bunt? And also, did you debate at all about Cops in the ninth inning, or you just figured he was in such a groove that he wouldn't need that many pitches?
Yeah, first question, I thought Monk did a tremendous job. Obviously, we brought him in because we have a lot of confidence in him. He throws that cutter, that hard cutter fastball, and we knew it'd be tough to bunt on him, and plus he's a good defender. And you know, he was an elevated cutter fastball and popped it up, and then he threw the cutter in on the next hitter, I think it was a catcher, and got it in on him a little bit, got the double play ball, and it was dugout was fired up. It was big to get those 3 outs without them scoring. And then as far as leaving Kevin in the ninth, we would have had to have a bigger lead than 5 runs. You know, they're too dangerous for the team, and you know, it'd be kind of going against what we talk about, man. When you got a chance to get a win, especially on the road. And yeah, you got to think about tomorrow, but you know, we got to win tonight. I think that was our thought. We would have probably had to been up about 10-1 for us to pull him. And we had an opportunity to score more runs and we didn't do it. So didn't want to take a chance.
Thanks.
Aaron,
Coach, I just wanted to go back to Robert for a second. I remember, I don't know, maybe a month or so back, it seemed like he was going through a little bit of a slump. I'm just kind of curious for your take on his offensive kind of development over the last few weeks and what was been kind of the key to get him going like Robert again.
Well, you know, he really struggled right at the beginning of conference play. I think, you know, against Alabama, we opened at home and they whipped us on that Friday night. But Robert, I don't know if he got a hit the whole weekend. He might have been 0 for 10, 0 for 12. You know, I think he finally got a hit at Mississippi State. I think he relaxed a little bit. I took him out of the leadoff spot and put him way down in the order for a series. And then when I put him back up to the top, I told him that I wanted him to take some pitches. So I started asking him to take, you know, maybe the first at bat, maybe the second at bat. And he saw some pitches get into the count a little bit. I think he just relaxed. I mean, his development it's week to week. I just see him getting better and better, and you know, he's confident, and he's always been confident, but he's never really failed before. Probably throughout summer ball and travel ball, all that. He gets here. You know, we played 16 games last year, and he really didn't fail, and he finally failed, and it got to him a little bit, but he got out of it, and now he's swinging the bat extremely well. He's confident.
Matt,
Brady Slavins had a big defensive play at the end of the first inning that kept the bases loaded. How big of a play was that at that point in the game?
It's huge. I mean, that ball hit the lip of that grass and just jumped. I mean, it was a routine ground ball, and next thing you know, it's above his head. And he did a great job, you know, flagging that thing down. It gets over his head. They're going to score at least 2, maybe 3, but 2 for sure. And everyone was at first and third, or second and third with 2 outs, and who knows what would have happened. But that was a big play.
Now that you know you'll play a doubleheader tomorrow, do you know who you'll start in the third game?
No, we're going to try to win that first one and use whoever we need and then figure it out from there.
And then I just wanted to ask you too, I mean, with a doubleheader on day 2 like that, how big is it to win the series opener when you have a doubleheader coming up?
Well, it takes a little bit of pressure off you. You can sleep a little bit better and know that you go out the next day. If you get one of those games, you win the series. You know, if you lose that first game, you know you're playing 2 the next day. It's difficult, you know, because then you're talking to the team, you're just asking them to look at, you know, take it one game at a time, relax, try to get that first one. If you get it, then you talk about winning the series. So, you know, really we just talked about after the game, let's go out and play really well tomorrow, and, you know, things will take care of themselves.
Robert,
Hey, Coach, what do you think of that squeeze play that you guys executed in the 7th with Zach Gregory?
Well, it wasn't a squeeze play. I mean, I'm not going to squeeze with 2 outs. The squeeze play, the runner breaks as the pitcher's delivering the pitch, and the batter has to try to bunt it and bunt it fair. But that was just we just put on bunt for a hit. His third baseman backed up. He's a good bunter. So it was more of just bump for a hit with a runner on third, and we're going to get an RBI. It was a great job. I mean, he couldn't have bunted it any better. He couldn't have rolled it any better, to be honest with you. But just a great job by Zach there.
Bob, you have anything else?
Yeah, Dave, Matt asked you about Slavins. I guess you'd call that a stab. I don't know what exactly you call that where he went high, and then Gregory had a really nice catch leaping against the wall, and Battle threw a rope to throw out Clark, I think it was, at second. Your defense really, I guess what'd you think of your defense tonight?
Well, if you don't play defense, you're probably not going to win very many games in this league because you can't give teams extra at bats. And those were a couple of tough plays. They probably wouldn't have been scored errors if that ball gets over Brady's head on that bad hop, or, if Gregory doesn't catch that ball, it's probably just a double. But we know that if they make those plays, we've got a lot better chance to win the game. I thought defense played outstanding, turned a big time double play, made a good play in the hole there. I mean, Battle's had an excellent day in the field.
Hey, I'm good. Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Nate, anything else?
Can't
No,
hear
I'm
you.
fine. I'm fine. Or technologically, I'm not, but otherwise I am.
Let's finish this off.
Yeah, Coach, Farr kind of held y'all down pretty good for 6 innings. Well, what made him so tough tonight?
I tell you, he just he did a good job of keeping the ball away from us, and then he'd bust you in a little bit, and he'd elevate that fastball a little bit. But he threw his breaking ball a couple innings there pretty good, and then he lost command of it. He's just a good pitcher, but watching a lot of video of him and discussing things with the team, Coach Thompson did for the most part, is that there was usually one inning you could get him, and that's kind of what happened tonight. We finally got him in the 7th. And he gave up a couple runs. 1 run, you're not really getting it. 2 and 3, that's getting a Friday night guy. So he's a good pitcher. He got a really good arm.
All right. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Okay, thanks.